Cloaked in shadows, he materializes as a figure draped in a robe. Though partially transparent, this detail is scarcely discernible unless observed closely. Regardless of his orientation or the intensity of illumination, his features remain shrouded in just enough obscurity to elude visibility. When subjected to stress, his eyes blaze with intense white light, a stark contrast to his usual demeanor. At his side rests a sheathed sword, never witnessed in use. From his waist hangs a book secured by a leather strap, its contents a mystery even to celestial beings. The appearance of both the book and the sword, absent upon his descent, only manifested several years later, sparking extensive debates among angels and demons alike. In the ominous records of ancient tales, Bezaliel, also known as Bezaliel or Bezaliel in Aramaic, and further distorted as Theta Megan Iota Lambda in the fractured fragments of Greek, ascended as the 13th Watcher among the accursed legion of 200 fallen angels. Etched into the annals of fallen angels in the Book of Enoch, he became a malevolent cadre, standing out as a contentious and enigmatic figure within the blasphemous roster. His name inspires dread, whispered in hallowed corridors of ancient texts. Haunted by the sinister echoes of Chapter 6 in the Book of Enoch, Bezaliel, adorned with wings of corruption, often finds himself expunged from the roster of fallen angels. The malevolent veil draped over his personality casts an evil design upon the ancient text, leading to his omission from the unholy lineup of the 20 leaders of damnation in our H. Charles's damning translation of 1917. Michael Knibb, chronicling malevolence, discloses that by 1982, numerous translations of Bezaliel's name had proliferated, each bearing distinct names and ominous meanings, as if the essence of the fallen angel resisted linguistic confinement. Bezaliel, also known as the Shadow of God, emerges as a spectral fiend in Chapter 69, slithering through blasphemous passages as the 13th wraith among the condemned. His name, a profane mantra, drips with malefic influence that permeates through the ages, staining the parchment of ancient texts. In the desolate tomes of time, Bezaliel's presence is scarce, barely a whisper in the winds of forgotten knowledge. Yet, within the Stygian depths of occult secrecy, a malevolent congregation dedicated to the Watcher arises from the shadows, the Congregation of Bezaliel, an unholy pact pledging allegiance to the fallen celestial tormentor. Etched in blood on the frayed edges of forbidden scrolls, the name Bezaliel resonates through the corridors of darkness as a spectral harbinger of doom. At the outset, Bezaliel's tale begins with a divine assignment to oversee humanity's well-being, a responsibility shared with 200 fellow angels, all created for the same purpose. Born shortly after the fall, they diligently executed their duties, avoiding excessive interference. Initially, their watchful endeavors unfolded smoothly, with unwavering commitment. The aftermath of Satan's defeat left minimal resistance, as the fallen were still recovering. Yet, a pivotal moment altered the course of their celestial duty. Lucifer, well acquainted with the Watchers and perceptive of their vulnerability due to their close ties to humanity, insidiously influenced Samayaza, their lord and supreme leader. The corruption that sees Samayaza gradually spread to other Watchers, and those ensnared by its influence found themselves captivated by human women. While Bezaliel himself remained untouched by the corruption, he couldn't escape the grip of love for a charming human woman, despite the unfolding chaos among his angelic brethren. Driven by their desires and Lucifer's influence, Samayaza and the corrupted Watchers resolved to act on their lustful cravings, engaging in sexual relations with the women who had captivated them. Bezaliel, swayed by his affection for the human woman he loved, chose to join his brethren in this forbidden venture. With their oath taken, the Watchers descended to Earth. Samayaza, contemplating the situation, decided it was wise to educate humans for their advancement. They imparted knowledge in areas like science, warfare, and agriculture. Their actions veiled from scrutiny. However, the father, observing the deviation of his sons from the divine command to refrain from direct interaction with mankind, sought to understand their chosen path. Uncovering the unforeseen potential of humanity in the emergence of the Nephilim, giants born of angelic ancestry, God cast all angels, including Bezaliel, into Tartarus. This confinement proved temporary. God instructed Noah to build an ark, heralding the great flood to cleanse the land of the iniquity sown by the Watchers. After the flood, God released 10% of the imprisoned angels from Tartarus, now transformed into demons until the day of judgment. Pledging allegiance to Lucifer, they set forth to carry out their malevolent tasks in anticipation of the appointed day. Upon their release from Tartarus, the Watchers faced an unexpected fate. Unidentified assailants systematically killed them off. In the end, only Angel and Bezaliel remained. A fierce battle unfolded over 20 days and nights, culminating in Bezaliel emerging victorious. He admitted responsibility for the deaths of the other Watchers, and, upon his triumph, surrendered to Lucifer, expecting punishment for slaying the demons. However, Bezaliel's fate took an unexpected turn. Moved by the Watcher's capabilities, Lucifer offered him recompense. Summoned to Chorazin in the distant past, Bezaliel found himself compelled into a plan against his will, assigned to the side of hell at the whims of the archfiend Samel. For nearly 2 decades, Bezaliel worked in the city, bound to serve Samel throughout the arrangement. Although officially aligned with hell, Samel recognized that Bezaliel operated secretly, pursuing his own objectives. Positioned as the primary candidate to guard the lifeline, Bezaliel stood at the forefront of Samel's intricate plans. In his covert guise as a human, Bezaliel assumes the role of a soldier of fortune, navigating various jobs and companies, all in service to Samel's quest for information. While Samel harbors some mistrust regarding Bezaliel's motivations, he acknowledges the Watcher's unwavering commitment to duty and exceptional information-gathering skills. In his ideal form, Bezaliel manifests as a cloaked, hooded, and armored figure, standing imposingly at 7 feet tall, dwarfing the average person. Draped in a pitch-black cloak with tattered edges, his face remains concealed behind an armored mask, and his chest is shielded by matching armor. Black leather gauntlets encase his hands and forearms, complemented by a striking belt featuring a massive bronze buckle. A sheathed sword hangs at his side, its blade yet to be unsheathed, even in this formidable form. The mysterious book, absent until some time after his fall, reappears, often held in one hand or occasionally slung over his shoulder, viewed with skepticism by those aware of its mysterious origin. Despite his menacing appearance, Bezaliel exudes an overwhelming sense of sadness and despair visible to anyone who beholds him. Paradoxically, innocent humans who lock eyes with this enigmatic figure feel a sense of calm and safety rather than the expected fear and terror. The duality of his presence adds an unsettling layer to Bezaliel's intricate character. In his human guise, Bezaliel takes on the appearance of a 6 feet 1 inch tall male with short brown hair, brown eyes, and a polished demeanor that may include minimal or no facial hair. Despite his striking attractiveness, his features allow him to seamlessly blend into a crowd, a valuable asset for his covert operations. His attire adapts to the demands of each situation, ranging from humble rags suitable for the lowest beggars to meticulously tailored suits generously provided by Samel's personal tailor, a shared indulgence with his boss. Bound by a supernatural compulsion to fulfill Samel's demands in all forms, Bezaliel's will was firmly linked to Samel by Lucifer at the commencement of the arrangement. This consequence arose from Bezaliel's daring attempt to slay Lucifer, who not only spared his life but also encouraged a future attempt when Bezaliel felt adequately prepared. Until then, Bezaliel is duty-bound to execute Samel's directives to the best of his abilities. While Bezaliel persistently struggles against the binding programming, especially when confronted with morally challenging tasks, the past 2 years have witnessed a gradual acceptance of his fate and a reduction in his resistance. Despite his initial reluctance, he has found a surprising source of entertainment in working alongside Samel, even amidst the archfiend's demanding temperament. I appreciate your viewing.